In this video, we're going to be ranking Elden Ring bosses from bad to atrocious. Bad meaning bad, and atrocious meaning really bad. But with that said, let's get right into it. At number 10, we have Radigan of the Golden Order and the Elden Beast. Now, I know this one is controversial. I know for a fact that a lot of people love this fight. It's their favorite fight, and it's not hard to see why. Apart from this fight being the last boss in the game, when you're dodging Radigan's attacks at the right time and attacking when you need to, you feel really good about yourself, and you feel like a beast. All jokes aside, this fight goes downhill when he starts teleporting. I'm biased, but I think teleportation is a ridiculous ability. I think it's broken and it shouldn't be implemented because for that split second or whatever time that opponent is teleporting, you don't know where they are. So therefore, it's hard to react to what they're going to do. And in this case, Radigan can actually damage you when he teleports, which is fucking ridiculous. And on top of that, he can go into combos and quick attacks straight after teleporting, which is absolutely ridiculous. With his next move, he has that devastating triple ground pound, which I think is BS because, obviously it is dodgeable, but let's say you're a mage player and you have to kind of keep your distance. The window of time you have to actually dodge this ability is so small that it is scandalous because you have to be so precise to dodge these attacks at range. Now onto the Elden Beast, and in my head, this boss doesn't seem so bad, but then I realize he is. He can literally swim around the whole arena, and this wouldn't be so bad on its own, but he's constantly doing this the entire fight, meaning that it's really hard to get in some decent damage. And combining that with his Elden Stars technique, it creates for a really unmanageable fight. And I use the word unmanageable because it's almost impossible to dodge some of these attacks. You've got the Elden Stars, then you've got his sweeping light attacks, and then you come onto the Ring of Light technique where he levitates into the air and he brings down these rings of light where you have to dodge each one of them, and if you fuck it up even once, you get blown up, which is absolutely ridiculous. It's kind of similar to Radigan's ground pound, but if you get up in time enough for that, you can kind of dodge it, but with this one, you're completely fucked. At number 9, we have Rose Church Guardian, which isn't an official boss, but I feel like it needed to be on this list. It's more of a mini-boss, and it doesn't even have a real name, so we'll just call it Rose Church Guardian for now. Getting onto it, the bleed damage of this boss is off the charts. It's fucking insane. I'm not sure why this is a thing, but when you use your shield to block his attacks, it adds to your bleed bar, which is absurd because it kind of defeats the purpose of shields. With a shield, the only thing that should go down is your stamina bar, and that's it. But for some reason, this adds to your bleed bar. I think From Software forgot to go back and nerf this mini boss because most of his attacks seem overpowered, because when you fight this guy at a high level, he's still doing some serious damage, meaning his attacks must be broken. He also has this AoE attack which adds to your bleed bar massively. At number 8 we have Dragon Lord Lorduju Sax, who is fine for the most part. Obviously he has those annoying red lightning AoE attacks, but they're not too bad. The real problems start in second phase, as you'd probably expect. He starts teleporting, which is fucking annoying. On top of that, he has this undodgeable flying attack. And it is undodgeable because the only way to avoid this attack is to be completely out of the way as he does it. It is literally undodgeable, which is fucking ridiculous. And on top of that, he has these one-shot lasers that you've probably seen in Dark Souls 3 with Dark Eden Medea. It looks really cool, don't get me wrong. I think it is an awesome attack, but obviously it's to your detriment, and if you get hit by these lasers, it can completely end the fight. At number 7, we have Guardskin Noble. I feel like this one is one of the more egregious ones on this list because every move is a nightmare to deal with. First off, he's got these lockable combo attacks, which, if you get caught in it, good luck getting out of it. Then he's got this expansion, a technique where if you're attacking him, he could just use it to break your combo, which I feel like is kind of ridiculous. On top of that, he's got this ground pound technique where he jumps up into the air and he slams down. Now, I don't know if this attack is actually dodgeable. Surely it must be, because how the fuck not? But not once have I managed to avoid this attack, which maybe goes to show how bad I am at this game. But with that said, I still feel like it's a pretty tough technique to dodge. And the last one we have is, I feel like it's impossible to dodge his rolling attack. I've seen so many videos of people being caught in this technique. The real problem with it is that he can literally roll as long as he wants until he catches you, and there's nothing you can do about it. I think this is pretty absurd and it's just ridiculous overall. At number 6, we have Sir Gideon the All-Knowing, or more like Sir Gideon the All-Bullshit. This guy is Captain Spamalot, and he spams the hell out of spells. Don't get me wrong, I like using the same moves over and over again, especially if they're good, but this guy takes things to another level. And for some reason, he's really hard to hit, which makes things even worse. The absolute worst thing about this is that he constantly uses these light attacks that hover around his head. And as soon as you attack him, these arrows project towards you and hit you. And it's so frustrating because it's really hard to bait him into using this attack, because obviously he's constantly jumping backwards to try and create space so that he can charge up for a magic attack, but at the same time you need to hit him, and as you hit him you get hit by these light attacks. It's fucking ridiculous. It's a massive head fuck, and it's just one of the most annoying fights in the game. At number 5, we have Cemetery Shade, and this list just keeps getting better. Obviously, this boss can teleport, and you know my thoughts on that. So, moving on, he can use this acid glue, which is almost impossible to dodge. And once you're caught in it, you're trapped. Following on from that move, he has this grab attack which completely fucks you. He also has all these allies around him which are really annoying. And on top of that, his bleed damage is fucking ridiculous. It's probably even worse than Rose Church Guardian. And his combos are probably even worse. Once you're caught in his combos, it's pretty much game over because you won't be getting out of them. This is absolutely ridiculous. At number 4, we have Star Scourge Radon. This guy's attacks are straight up undodgeable. We're talking about Magnetic Pull, the attack where he pulls you in, and there's really nothing you can do about it. You just have to take it. He's also got sweeping attacks and ground shockwave, which I feel like are absolutely impossible to dodge. Like, good luck dodging it, but I don't know how you're going to get out of it. Moving on from that, when he goes and does that meteor attack where he enters second phase, the only way to really dodge that attack is to be completely out of the way. And the only way I managed to do that is to be on my horse. So basically, don't get your horse fucked up before this stage. And the last thing I want to mention is he has this attack in second phase where he brings up these giant boulders. Now, if you're on your horse, this attack is undodgeable. But if you're not on your horse, you can actually dodge this attack. And it's absurd because, you've really got to time it to make sure that none of these boulders connect with you, because I'm pretty certain that if they do, it's game over. Absolutely ridiculous and absurd. At number 3, we have Guard Skin Duo. Yeah, these guys. The boss that everybody struggles with. And the reason why everyone struggles with this boss is not only is it a double boss battle, but these two are literally inseparable. They're always together the entire fight, making it impossible to do any sort of combos. And because of the way these two fight, you kind of run the risk of, if you make one mistake, it's game over. I'm not sure if this was a design decision from Software to try to make this fight as hard as possible. Let's put these two together throughout the entire fight instead of separating them from time to time. I feel like it kind of is, because I'm not sure why these two are always together the entire fight. Rarely do they ever kind of split up to try and take you down, but that's sort of what I've kind of gathered from this encounter. And on top of that, if you take one down, the other one will bring the other back. So, a pretty absurd fight all around. At number 2, we have Commander Niel. This guy is a problem right off the bat. He creates 2 summons at the start of the battle. And the issue is that when you're attacking one of these summons, any one of the 2 can attack you at any point. So basically, you're completely defenseless, which is absurd. Moving on, the window in which to attack the actual commander is ridiculously small. You only ever have the opportunity to do one attack and hop out, because he's constantly doing combos and AoE attacks. Except when he does this massive swirling windstorm. That sort of takes it out of him and gives you 5 to 10 seconds to get in some combos. However, he rarely ever uses this attack, so basically there's no point waiting for it. Lastly, he also does this heavy attack, but it's really a quick attack, which is ridiculous because whenever an opponent does a heavy attack, you should have enough time to be able to see it and avoid it. Not something that is activated instantaneously and you can't really react to it. At number 1, we have Black Knife Assassin. Now, this isn't just any Black Knife Assassin. This is the invisible Black Knife Assassin. You find him in the Sage Cave, in Ultua's Plateau. And the fact that this boss is invisible is fucking ridiculous. It's absolutely absurd. Now, I know the water is supposed to be used as a guide to track down the assassin, but if you fought Black Knife Assassin before, in other areas in the game, you'll know exactly how this guy moves. He's constantly dancing around the fucking place, so he's impossible to track down. And even if you do track him down, it's usually too late because he's already attacked you, because you don't see it coming. He also has this unblockable grab attack, which makes things way worse because this attack is lethal and does a lot of damage. Now, I'm pretty sure I had one more thing to talk about. Yeah, I think the only thing I can really say is that this guy is way too quick and way too fucking dangerous to be an invisible enemy. And he makes number 1 on this list. And that's about it.